All right. Welcome to Keyboard Warriors, presented by Crossover. Actually, no. I'm gonna give you the best line I heard all day about this show. This comes from Dr. Feelgood, who just joined us right now. Keyboard Warriors ripping up more ass with Chipotle. Brought to you by Crossroads MMA. I wasn't kidding. I love that fucking line. That might be my favorite thing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I know we're like 22 minutes late. It's all good though. You ain't got nothing else to do, so join us. We got boy Justin coming back from a long layoff. How you feeling, man?
Feeling a lot better, man. Sorry I've been gone so long. It's just been dealing with a lot of health. Got some bad news from my family, so kind of took some time off, got away, but try to get back a little bit here.
All right, from Stand Bang Radio and Gem City Fighting, Fred Kirby. What's up, dude?
What's happening, fellas? How are you doing tonight, Eddie?
Pretty good. Tired as fuck, but all
Great.
the same, man. Dr. Feelgood, Aaron Robbins from Stand Bang Radio. How you doing, man?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Pretty good. All right, so let's get the show kicked off right now. Let's actually talk about last weekend. The UFC Fight Pass card headlined by Mark Hunt against Stipe Miocic. Let's just go ahead and talk about the main event. We can touch on other fights in a second, but because Fred doesn't want to forget what he was going to say about it, Fred, go ahead and kick off what you want to say about the main event.
The ref was horrible. Like, in a nutshell, I don't know whether fucking Mark Hunt owed that ref money or what the deal was, but that fucking fight should have been stopped a solid 2 rounds before it actually got stopped. The fact that Stipe fucking had to sit there and pound on Mark Hunt for an additional 15 minutes after he was fucking probably done leaves a little bit to be desired about Stipe too, but the fact that that fight didn't get stopped way fucking before it did is kind of an atrocity. Like, and I seen something where Mark Hunt had said he took his beating like a man, and that's fucking admirable. I dig that about Mark Hunt, but that's not his fucking job. He ain't the ref. Somebody needs to fucking... I actually seen people tweeting they need to throw in the towel. That's no bullshit. In MMA, we don't fucking say that shit. Nobody talks about fucking throwing in the towel. I swear to God, I seen tweets that were saying they need to throw in the fucking towel in Mark Hunt's corner. So that was fucking disgusting, Jack.
I thought so as well, because I mean, it was a just horrible ass whooping that he was taking. He took unnecessary punishment like no other. Aaron, you saw the fight after you finished taking your drink. My bad. You saw the fight. What'd you think of that?
It's easy to explain. It's a New Zealand star fighting in Australia with an Australian ref. They gave him. They didn't want to have to finish the fight that way, and that's exactly what it was. The ref hesitated and hesitated and hesitated. And, at the end of it, I guess no one wants to see a guy get his ass whipped that hard. You know what I mean? Mark Hunt in the pre-fight, and then, of course, I saw some interviews with him today. And I love it how every reporter's is like, so how was it to get your ass beat for that long? Did you ever expect to have your ass whipped that bad? It's a terrible thing to ask a guy who looks like he got ran over a car those questions a couple days after it happened, but I think the ref was trying to not have the crowd riot, and then I have to agree with Fred. Right away, people were tweeting out, "Oh, I want to see Stipe against Kane next." That would be a slaughter. That'd be a massacre. I don't see Stipe Miocic making it any further up the ladder than Mark Hunt, because if you can't take out a guy who is beaten both physically and mentally, switch your game. Go for a Kimura. Take his back. Choke him out. Don't just keep doing those punches and punches and punches. It's not working. So I don't really think his stock went up that bad. But yeah, it was an atrocious beating.
Yeah, I'm saying the same thing too. Like, go ahead and try and finish him. Look, it was clear by the end of the second round that ref was not going to call it due to TKO. You were going to have to choke that guy out. He had plenty of chances. Stipe just didn't want to, and I completely agree. Stipe against Kane is a massacre. A horrible, horrible massacre to the point where I would actually say Kane would finish him early. You know what I mean? But that's just me. Justin, you watched the fight?
No, sir, I didn't. I was one of those hosers that watched the highlights. But I mean, you guys pretty much summed it up for me, man. I mean, where's Stipe's submission skills, bro? I mean, Mark Hunt's not been known to have very good sub defense, so I was kind of curious about that. And then, as Fred touched a little bit, I was kind of wondering about the corner throwing. I mean, I've seen I think Nick Diaz did it once. The Stockton boys, the toughest boys, the baddest boys in the UFC or MMA, they threw in the towel once. You can't do it for good old Mark Hunt. All right, I'm cool with that. I'll let it fly.
Nate was getting his ass kicked. I gotta say that much. Nate was getting massacred. Okay, so you have to throw that shit in there. But all right. So here's a question, and I'll start off with Aaron. I actually threw that on Twitter, and some people actually responded. It was kind of a mixed feeling on it. But they're talking about an MMA union possibly. We'll get into the Reebok deal in a second. They're talking about possibly doing an MMA union. Union has all the fighters and stuff. Should there be rules put into this union to prevent stuff like what happened to Mark Hunt this weekend?
Here's the thing. If there's going to be a fighters union, first off, they need to worry about what's actually important right now, which is making money and an even playing field for all fighters. They don't need to be getting all fucking touchy-feely about throwing in the towel and bad beatings against a fighter. So until they figure out how to unify all of these guys who have been free agents for this long, which is going to be a fucking logistical nightmare. Make no bones about it. It'll take longer to form the fighters union than the Reebok deal will last, because you're going to have holdouts, you're going to have managers that want no part of it, you're going to have fight camps that want no part of it, fighters that do want some but not others. It's not going to be an overnight thing where everybody's like, okay, now we're unionized, we all make $100,000 a fight, we all fucking hold hands out to the cage and stroke each other's dicks. It's not going to fucking happen. So I'm not worried about the little, did Mark Hunt take too much of a beating and should the union protect the fighter? The union is going to be about money and money alone.
Right, and we've seen that with any kind of other union. But, yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you on that one. I'm not – in fact, I don't even see a union actually happening. I think it's kind of like your hopes and dreams and all that shit. I think we're going to see a lot more chaos going on before seeing any kind of union for the fighters. Fred, let's talk about – I mean, overall, Mark Hunt, what is he? I think he's 40 years old now. He's not a little older than that. Is there anything left for Mark Hunt to do in this sport?
No. I mean, he ain't going to win the belt or no shit. Like, he could probably still show up and be, I mean, would y'all still like to see him fight?
Nope.
Oh, get the fuck out of here. You still want to see him fight? Jesus Christ. You would, I mean, you're not interested in watching him fight anymore?
Don't tell me what I want to see, Chewbacca. I don't like Mark Hunt. I don't like these old throwbacks. His fucking record is atrocious.
Oh, with the record. So is Randy Couture's.
Oh, I don't want to see that fucker fight either.
Jesus Christ. The point is he's relevant. I would watch him fight.
No, bullshit. How is he relevant? We've already just said that he can't get past Stipe Miocic. He can't get past any athletic fighter. It's impossible. He's too unathletic. He's too old. At this point, he's New Zealand's version of cabbage.
No, let's not just start getting slanderous. Jesus Christ. We need a fucking a gatekeeper. He's a decent gatekeeper. He's a name. You throw him on the European cards. Listen, I don't think if his goal is to be champion, then yeah, he should fucking pack it in, as Andrew Reid would say. He should pack that shit in and head to Bellator or do his thing in Australia. But if he just wants to make some money and still fight, like, he could fucking stay in the UFC and do his thing. Fuck it. I mean.
Yeah, but nothing there to accomplish. Justin, what do you think on that?
Oh, man. How about we just throw him over there with a big old 300-pound Tim Sylvia and let those two duke it out? I mean, I can always go for Tim Sylvia getting knocked out. How about you guys? I'm cool with that. Don't want to see that?
If they're gonna make Shamrock Kimbo Slice, I would not mind seeing Hunt against Sylvia.
Wait a second. Am I not mistaken that an athletic commission would not allow him to fight because he's so fat?
I don't even care. Just let two fatties go at it. I don't give a
Isn't Tim Sylvia?
I'll agree with Kirby that that's some slanderous shit, because at least Mark Hunt is kind of an athlete. I thought Tim Sylvia today on Pat Militich's timeline, that son of a bitch looks like the before picture of Jared from Subway.
I was gonna say, I think Tim Sylvia is like a cop in your neighborhood, Aaron. Ain't he like a cop in Michigan or some shit?
Is he really? I didn't fucking know that.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, like, I think he's a for real cop, like in some fucking suburban city somewhere.
That's how all cops need to look, because then you could run away from them easily.
Oh man, that kid's a cop. Fuck Tim Sylvia.
Crazy, man. Starting out crazy.
All right.
Have you not been, Justin? Have you not been watching the show? You need to get in the spirit of things.
Hey man, stuff happens, but I had to get back in here sooner or later and do my own crazy shit. So why not throw Tim Sylvia in there, man? Let's just get him back in the UFC. Let's make this whole a big shit show.
Oh, it is.
It's already a shit show. We're there, dude. I think we're fucking there. All right. All right. Let's move on here. I know Justin didn't watch it, but we'll start with Fred. One fight on the card, not the main event that you enjoyed the most.
Let's see. Sam Alvey, man, that was what was impressive the most to me. I gotta say, man, as much as I love Alvey, he still fucking scares me on the feet. He looks awkward when he's striking. Far be it from me to run my fucking mouth, because obviously it's fucking successful, because he be fucking starching fools early and quick. But I don't know, man, he looks very awkward while he's striking, but, man, he has got some fucking serious power. And actually, he's really technically precise. Like, he fucking finds a way to hit you right on the button every time, man. And even his fucking cute little, the fuck was it, the spray tan shit he did? Even though I heard he fucking got his hand smacked for that shit in the back, too. That was a cute little stunt he pulled, but for future reference, all you cute little fighters out there, that shit's not allowed neither. So, but I thought his shit was, I tell you what, man, I think that performance will kind of make Sam Alvey. Not only how he did in the cage, but the shit he said on the mic afterwards, calling out the chubby Canadian Elias Theodoro that's fucking tanning down in Brazil, shooting his mouth off. That was a star-making somewhat performance for Sam Alvey, man. Good shit.
Yeah, when I saw the tan thing on his chest, I thought that was his chest hair. I was like, that's interesting. All right. And then look, I'll give it this. It was creative. It was fucking weird, but it's creative. And he did get yelled at by the UFC on it. But moving on here, Aaron, a fight that I guess your favorite fight on the card.
Okay, first off, he's not the first guy to do that. Brian Ebersol shaved
The
tap
hair
out.
row. Oh, really?
I think it was tap out, wasn't it, into his chest hair?
Brian Ebersol has shaved more shit in his chest hair than Janet Jameson has shaved into her twat.
And listen, Kirby, you've had your piece. You have nothing to say about hair. Look at you.
I know. The fucking greatest hair on the show by a long shot. On my face.
Jesus Christ. Anyways, just like I said last week on Stand and Bank, that beard is disgusting. Anyways, Sam Alvey, yeah, he's awkward, but that was great. Now, we did get some insider information from our good friend Steve Jeffrey over on The Hammer about Elias Theodoro, and I can tell you guys this, after his next fight, bet against him. That's all I can say, but trust me, after his fourth fight in the UFC, start betting against him. Besides that, I was most impressed, I think, with the event. I would have to say Robert Whittaker versus Brad Tavares. He's another guy where my main man, Fred Kirby, has been talking about this, moves up a weight class, doesn't kill himself with his weight cut, comes out and straight kills Brad Tavares, where I don't think anybody expected that, but I was sitting with a friend of mine, and I said, watch, he's a killer. As soon as he smells blood, it's going to be over. And great performance, and I think that if he doesn't have to make that weight cut, I think we start seeing things from Whittaker.
All right, yeah, and that's actually the fight that I was going to talk about. That one and the James Vick, Jake Matthews fight. Did not expect Jake Matthews to get finished that way. It was very, very it was impressive in my opinion on Vick. But here's the Ebersol tap out chest shave shit. Yeah, that's it right there. There you go.
That is fucking disgusting.
He normally does a hair. You see that here on the bottom left? This right here? He usually does the arrow right. What the fuck is that on this? Okay, that's that.
Listen, are we really wasting time looking at Brian Ebersol?
I just want to see.
Who the fuck put up Dennis Hallman in his panties? That cute cocksucker had some balls wearing that to the cage.
Yeah, you can see both of them clearly.
All right, let's jump right in. Let's talk about, since we were talking about MMA units, talk about the Reebok deal. Aaron, you guys had Rocky Pennington on this last episode, your newest episode of Stand and Bang. She got really, really honest about what she felt or how she felt about the deal. Overall, we know it's cruiser fighters. It's going by how many fights you have. What was your feel? What was Rocky's take on this whole thing?
That it sucks. She was very honest about it. She was like, a $2,500 sponsorship deal is from a monthly single sponsor back when she first started her career. And that's the truth. These guys are losing money hand over fist. They're going to have to start doing things outside of the UFC to make up for the money. Some of these fighters, we found out on that episode, are losing $80,000, $90,000, $100,000. You go to all of the press stuff, pre-event, and now everybody's just sitting around in street clothes. All the fucking sponsors have already jumped ship, man. They're done. They read the writing on the wall, and they're like, fuck you, fighters. We're off to the WWE. or Bellator or fucking World Series of Fighting or whatever. Fuck you, UFC. Fuck you, UFC fighters. We're out. And so you're left with a bunch of fighters who are like, hey, this was great. It was actually worth it fighting in the UFC up until about 4 months ago. And, you know, now what? There's like maybe 20 fighters that are actually making good money now. And the rest of everybody else is just getting fucking raped.
Yeah, it's definitely a shit deal for the fighters. Justin, we haven't heard from you for a while. What do you think of this whole Reebok deal?
It's a shit deal, man. It's unfortunate for these fighters. I mean, a lot of them made pretty much their yearly salary off, you know, these endorsements alone. You know, it's unfortunate, and I mean, I hope that these companies are going to promotions like Bellator and WSOF and really get it and sticking behind fighters, sticking behind MMA, because all the fighters, no matter if they're in the UFC or not, need support. So I hope they're not just saying screw MMA. You know, MMA is a rising sport and it's gonna keep rising. So might as well back it somewhere. You know. But one sport I'd like to see some money get put into is Glory, man. I've always been a big Glory kickboxing fan. It'd be nice to see a little bit more better promotion from them. And but it's unfortunate for UFC fighters like Raquel Pennington, a couple other guys. I mean, it really, really sucks. I mean, imagine if that was a $12,000 paid heavyweight in there that took the ass whooping like Punt did. You know, what if he just went in there and he has facial fractures that are going to be up to over $100,000 worth of medical bills, and he only got paid $12,000 for that fight? That would fucking suck. I mean, they do get some health insurance or whatnot from the UFC now, but man, that'd be a hard one to bear right there.
Definitely, yeah. Fred, okay, so we're hearing everyone, you know, Coker started telling people that the phone's been ringing, people are coming over. Do you see UFC fighters bailing on UFC and heading over to Bellator, or newer fighters with potential that could be stars saying fuck this shit, like that wrestler Ruth? What's his first name? Ruth?
Baby
Ruth?
Yeah,
Baby Ruth. Yeah, the wrestler actually chose Bellator. Yeah. Ed Ruth chose Bellator over UFC because of the sponsorship deal. That's what he's saying anyway. What do you think we're gonna start losing UFC fighters?
Listen, man, if all this shit turns out to be the way it looks on the surface, then probably so, right? Like I said before, I think we went on air, man. A lot of these guys, if they can make more money elsewhere, you know, a shitload more money per a fight, they probably will. I'm just sitting here thinking about this shit, man, and I just really don't get it. I always kind of wonder about shit in the big picture. Now, we look at this thing, right? Everybody just came up, everybody does the same fucking thing, right? Universally, everybody hates this deal. Okay, we all would agree that the Zuffa brass usually know what they're doing, right? They're great business runners, right? They run a great business. Okay? This is a horrible business decision, is it not? We all kind of see that, right? Everybody is saying that it's a bad decision. All the fighters, nobody likes it. I just think there's something that we don't get. Quite frankly, I think the UFC's smarter than this, man. I don't know what it is. It just seems like for what? To make another do you really think that the fucking Fertittas and them really need another $100 million if it's going to sabotage half their fucking roster? Now maybe they are that greedy. I just don't think they're that fucking stupid. We ain't that much smarter than the Fertittas to be like, oh, now you done fucked up. You're going to lose. Like, they had to know that there was going to be this kind of blowback for this shit. They're not that fucking stupid. Now let me ask you guys a curious question, just for curiosity's sakes. Let's say that the UFC does see this coming, and they know that as long as they keep their business running, they'll make up whatever they might have to do to keep the fighters happy. Say they make up the difference. Say they add on, I don't know, 5, 10K per a fighter on the undercard and whatever, 20 to 30K per fighter on the main card out of the UFC's pocket just to keep these fuckers happy, so that whatever sponsors you might have missed will make up for that, so that fucking everybody don't start jumping ship. Just for the sake of curiosity, would that shut us all the fuck up?
Yeah, you know what? I'll say this in rebuttal. That'll happen around the same time when I start driving my winged unicorn to work and pigs start flying out of my fucking ass. Are you fucking... What planet do you live on, Fred? They're not going to do that. This is a straight fuck job on the fighters. Plain and simple. And there is no hypothetical, well, do you think that the UFC brass is going to treat the fighters right? They haven't yet. And no, I don't think that this is some foregone conclusion that the Fertittas were like, yeah, we just need a little bit more money. Look, if they're showing us this, and fighters are actually getting these checks, and they know what's going on, there might be something in the background that we don't understand, but the UFC deal is this as it stands right now.
Yeah, and like everyone's saying, it is a shit show. But yeah, Fred, to answer your question, I don't believe that's going to happen.
Hypothetical.
I know it's hypothetical.
Feel good, you cocksuckers.
Here's the problem with your hypothetical. It's horseshit. It's complete horseshit. It's not going to fucking happen. They don't give a fuck about the fighters.
Hypothetically?
Look, I will tell you this. Dana White will hypothetically, if he's not already doing it, wiping his ass with $1,000 bills that don't even exist. I don't think I've ever seen one. But probably wiping his ass with $1,000 bills before he gives a shit what the fighters do. He don't give a fuck. All right, he's still eating good. It's still fucking good. It's probably got fucking 6 or 7 hoes in each fucking city that he goes to. Allegedly, I don't know. All right.
Hold on.
What?
Really?
Wait a second. Do you know what? We're in a sport that's in its infancy. We're starting to see different things happen that happen with other sports. Do you remember how poorly boxers used to be treated by promotions, by managers, by everybody that was surrounded by them? Mike Tyson makes $20 million and is broke the next day. We're still in a sport that they have not figured this out. So for you not to believe that they could just be intentionally fucking guys over to make money, I think that's a little naive, Fred. I think you know better from prior experience.
I just think that if they wanted to do that, they could have done it already. If they fucking wanted a shitload of money, they could sell the fucking company outright and make a fucking few bill a piece and go fucking disappear into the sunset, right? Like, why? They could have sold the whole thing to the fucking sheiks in fucking Iraq instead of 10%. Like, they own the cash cow. They own the sport of MMA. This fucking deal might ruin that. It might jeopardize their stranglehold on their business. Are they that fucking stupid? Really? Or that greedy? I mean, maybe you guys are right. I tell you what, though, if you are and you start seeing stars jump to Bellator and all this shit backfires on the UFC, it will be the dumbest move since fucking Kat Zingano went shooting across the octagon with a fucking Hadouken knee on Ronda Rousey.
All right, I have something that this could be. We have all said that the UFC's roster is bloated, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
All right, this is a way to control that bloat. Let's say that you're 4 fights in. You got your contract coming up. They don't offer you any incentive. Boop, off to Bellator you go. Boop, off to the World Series of Fighting. If you're a great prospect and they know it, behind the doors they might say, hey, look, you're not going to make shit from Reebok right now, but we'll take care of you. And they keep the best and they cut the rest. It could be a matter of that. This is a good way for fighters to voluntarily leave before they start making good money with the company.
True.
Very true. Yeah. Although, why wouldn't they just cut dudes if they don't want? If they want to hit in the herd?
Because they're all sensitive and stuff.
I don't know about all that shit, but
that sounds like some bullshit to me, Jack.
I'm just saying, I don't know about all being sensitive and shit. I mean, every time right now when you said that, my first thought was that video of Dana White turning his head going, it's fucking illegal. Like, every fucking time he says, like, anyone says anything sensitive about UFC, I think that shit right there. Of course, I have said that Dana White's a fat, sloppy piece of shit, but that's just me. I'm not getting UFC credentials. I don't give a fuck at this point. I'm not getting in there. I don't give a shit. Fuck them. Okay?
There we go. That's how you do it.
All right, what else?
Go ahead. I know you got something.
No, so what else we got? Obviously, we don't know a fucking thing about this. Everybody's talking about Reebok. We're not lawyers. We're not fighters. We're not managers. We're not the Fertittas. So the best we got is that so far, the fighters have lost money. Let's fucking move on to something we might know a little bit about and entertain some fuckers who are watching us.
All right, let's talk shit about Dana White. Aaron goes first. I'm kidding. No, actually, I'm not kidding. We'll talk about that later. All right, so you guys have heard this shit about Ronda Rousey. Her book just came out not too long ago. I haven't read it yet. I'm going to when it comes out on audiobook because I don't got time to sit down and read shit. Fred, I don't think you read. So, Aaron, I'm just messing with you, dude. Hey, look. No.
That fucking hurts my feelings. That was a low blow. That hurts my feelings.
Fred,
Mayweather. I'm just saying.
Fred, in all fairness, he said, I don't think you do read. He didn't question your ability to read.
Which, quite frankly, he hit the fucking nail on the head. I'm not a big reader. I can't stand reading.
Oh man. All right, no, but for real, with the Ronda Rousey book coming out, on she's coming out saying that she's not afraid, that she had like a little bit of a nude pic scare because of her ex-boyfriend. All right, who here does not want to see her nude pics?
I'll tell you what. For reasons that I'm going to keep to myself tonight, I don't believe that story even a little bit. Not even a little bit. Fred, you know why I don't believe that story, but I don't believe that shit even a little bit. Here we go about the whole Ronda Rousey book. I'm not going to read it. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm not going to endorse it. Fuck that shit. I'll bet you she didn't write it. I'm sure it was ghost written by somebody else, and it's just to glorify the biggest cash cow that they have right now. John Jones is gone, so who's left? Ronda Rousey. Here's another thing, too. Front Row Brian. Every now and then, that cute little prick, I love him. He snagged a fucking tweet from the UFC telling other fighters to congratulate Ronda Rousey on the Sports Illustrated cover.
Seriously?
All of those fucking tweets that you saw today that were like, congratulations, Ronda, we're so glad that you're making so much more money than us. That was requested by the company that they work for. None of that shit was organic. And Front Row Brian subsequently had to pull that shit immediately. You can find it if you see the retweets and shit like that, but you won't find it on his timeline anymore. So, nice one.
What the fuck? No, I want to see that shit. What the hell? Yeah, that's horse shit. Why would you pull that? Anyway, anyway, Fred, because we were joking around before, the nude pics, man. Hell, do you believe it? Because no, Aaron doesn't believe that shit for a second. Do you?
Well, I'll figure it out right after the show. I'll let you all know. I'll shoot you a fucking message. I'll go see if I can't find them. Although I did see somebody tweeted out that her pussy looked weird, as far as it goes.
The hell?
So, yeah, it was on Twitter, Jack. I ain't making this shit up. I didn't say it. That's from a fucking random tweeter. But supposedly somebody's seen the things. They actually exist. So.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I'll tell you what. Have you guys ever seen Caddyshack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
After we saw Britney Spears' pussy do a Bill Murray impression from Caddyshack, Ronda Rousey don't have nothing to worry about looking weird.
Oh, geez.
I quit. I don't know. Listen, more power to her. If she's got some pussy pics floating around, I'm sure that'll help sell her book a lot more. Will I be reading her book? No. I wouldn't read her book for all the stars in the sky, because I don't really give a fuck about that shit.
Not to inability. It's not the inability.
Yeah. I could. It's possible. I just choose not to. All bullshit aside, I do think that Ronda Rousey. All right, you cute cocksuckers, quiet. I do think that Ronda Rousey is fucking one of the most dominant champions in our sport, fucking period. Like, bar none. So, even with all the bullshit, with Aaron's cute little theories, and all the other shit that goes into Ronda fucking Rousey, man, the book, the fucking nude pics, she's a fucking beast. She's the best. Okay. So
you know what's funny? I was actually thinking about that today because on Sports Illustrated it says the world's most dominant athlete.
She is.
Okay. Against the world's worst opposition. Think about it. The only people she fights is the female bantamweight division. Okay? So it's all relative. Yes, she's very dominant in the female bantamweight division, but I don't think that she's the most dominant athlete. I think the most dominant athlete right now is indefinitely suspended and stripped of his title.
No, I would agree with that, actually. Fred, you got something on that?
Yeah, I do got something on that, goddammit. I don't give a fuck how relative it is. What the fuck? She finishes everybody. You can't say that. That's like fucking going back and saying that motherfucking certain fucking basketball players don't deserve the credit because they were playing against a bunch of short white guys. Like, you can't fucking skew. I mean, it don't matter. Like, she's fucking dominating everybody. Who cares if her opposition is, like, weak? She can't change that shit. They line them up and she kills them. I mean, John Jones hasn't finished everybody. I think that John Jones is the best fucking pound-for-pound fighter on the planet, but he's not the most dominant, not when Ronda Rousey's fucking killing everybody in the first round.
Justin, are you going to talk?
I was about to go to Justin right now about talking about Ronda.
Because honestly, I ain't got a fucking comment on Ronda Rousey, Jack. I ain't touching that shit. Quote from motherfucking Fred over there. I'm not touching that shit, homie.
Yeah, see, Justin still gets into the UFC events. He's fucking smart. He's like, yeah, you two cocksuckers run your mouths.
You're trying to set me up, and people are watching this shit now.
I was about to say Justin's gonna be like, congratulations to Ronda Rousey for covering Sports Illustrated in her book. He got that tweet. He got that tweet from the UFC.
On the low,
tell you what, yes, people are watching this right now. But what you say about Ronda isn't going to determine whether she's ever going to talk to you. That's just not happening. As soon as
I already talked to her before, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, you don't know how it works.
Interview for you.
If your Ariel Helwani or your paycheck somewhere on it says UFC or Fox, you might get to talk to her. Other than that, piss on her.
You gotta join the scrums, brah. But no comment on that shit, bro.
go to the next UFC weigh-in when
shout out to all the UFC female fighters there. No comment.
Just like Fred said, he still gets in there, man. I guarantee he got that tweet from UFC saying, make sure to congratulate Ron on this bullshit. And nobody else cares about.
Was the first one to send out the congratulations tweet, like, thank you, Ron.
I'm gonna tweet that shit, but I'm not gonna say nothing.
We got you. I got you, Aaron.
Are you starting to get the feeling that perhaps you have joined the wrong show?
Nah, I'm even keel, you know. Question? Nah, I'm good.
All right. All right. Let's talk about this weekend. We got Faber taking on Edgar. Frankie Edgar against Uriah Faber in Manila. Also, actually, let me read some tweets because we actually got quite a few. Of course, Mr. What's up?
Quickly on that card, I'm assuming that none of you fuckers are picking Uriah Faber, right? Nobody. Okay, so instead of all of us giving our fucking goofy opinions on why Frankie's going to dominate Uriah, why don't one of you cute pricks come up with the fucking play devil's advocate? How could Uriah possibly win this fight?
Frankie Edgar trips over his own foot, hits himself in the face with his own elbow, and goes to sleep.
There we go.
I agree with that completely. Frankie Edgar doesn't even make it to the arena. That's the only way he beats him. All right, look, he's got no chance. Okay, I'm not gonna say he's got no chance with MMA. But it's Frankie fucking Edgar, dude.
Could he get out grappled?
Hell no. Frankie's not getting out grappled for shit. Justin, do you think Faber has a shot?
No. I mean, I think it's a joke that Frankie Edgar said that he's not fought anybody like Frankie before. He's fought quite a few people, but does he stand a shot? No. Frankie Edgar is gonna walk all over him, and it's too bad. It's gonna be too early in the morning, man. 9 something in the morning. Shit, man, you gotta let me get my energy drink first.
Well, go ahead.
I just switched my mind. I'm going with Uriah Faber. Everybody's picking fucking Frankie. I'm jumping ship on the rest of you cocksuckers. I'm fucking going with Uriah. I want to say that he fucking knocks the piss out of Frankie because Frankie comes fucking darting out there to Biggie, and everybody on cocksucking earth is picking Frankie to win. And I want to say that the cute little Brooklyn prick gets a little confident and ends up getting stole on early.
Are we gonna get a fucking time out? Are we gonna get a tweet from you saying, "Hey fellas, I bet this much on this shit. Check it out."
No, I'm done with that shit, Jack. Manny Pacquiao taught me a very fucking stern lesson of betting with my heart and not my fucking mind.
All right. Well, hey. Anyway, so let's see the other fight on that card this weekend. Actually, you know what? Let's say this. It started with Aaron. There's people actually saying that this shit's actually a super fight. You agree with that?
No, I don't. Generally, for me, a super fight are guys that have both held titles or hold a title in different weight divisions. Uriah hasn't held a title since WEC, and he is always the perennial coming up short guy. I think it's a fight that we're excited to see because it answers some questions, like could he out-grapple Frankie Edgar? And I don't think so. To me, Uriah Faber is a guy who has not gotten any better. Like, from his WEC days, he was phenomenal when he was young and when he held the title. But since then, he's not one of the guys over at Alpha Male who's changed up his footwork, his striking. He still does that dart in and out, lead with his head, His strikes are always short. He doesn't, it's not point A to point B. It's always a winging shot. Sure, he's creative, but Frankie Edgar's punches are going to get there first. No, I wouldn't call this a super fight. Frankly, I'm hesitant to call any fight a super fight unless both guys hold gold.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah. Again, that's what people say. It's a field super fight. I don't believe it either. I'm not buying a super fight talk at all. Is somebody echoing real quick?
I think it's you.
I don't think it's me. I just muted my shit to make sure. No.
I don't think it's me. Is it me?
I don't know.
No. The only time I hear it is when Eddie talks.
Really? That's fucked up. Hold up. All right, I'm gonna work on that while we're going on the next thing. All right, so we got also on this card the co-main event is Filippo against Musasi. Who do you got in that one?
Whoa, who's fighting Musasi?
Filippo.
How the fuck did he get that fight?
He begged for it. I don't know.
Musasi's getting a live body to feast on. Is it me? Am I echoing?
I think it's Justin.
We're blaming it all on each other and shit.
Did you ask who did you ask about the Musasi fight?
You.
Oh. Yeah, I don't care a lick about that fight.
Okay. All right, it was Justin because I actually turned him down for a second and it was him. So I don't know if you got headphones, man, or you just turn on the volume a little bit.
Turn up the volume?
Down.
God damn.
Yeah, baby, turn it up.
All right. Shit, it looks like we ran out of shit to talk about. Anything else you guys want to bring up?
What the fuck you mean we ran out of stuff to talk about? This is the worst show on YouTube.
It is tonight.
No, I mean, there's a whole other card. But what else? No, so, yo, do you think Mark Munoz is actually going to win his retirement fight, or is he going to go out on a fucking stretcher like an old man?
He's going out Mark Hunt style. That's what I'm saying.
Well, way to be a fucking dick, Eddie. Jesus Christ.
He's going out Mark Hunt style. I know you said him on the show and everything, but goddamn, dude, he's not. He's already got. Okay, you know how to say he's got a foot out the door? Mark Munoz has both legs out the door, and he's doing this shit right here, holding on to the fucking door. He's done. He's not gonna give a fuck. You think if he gets in goddamn trouble, he's not gonna fucking just quit? He's gonna quit.
All right, fair enough.
Justin, what is your intelligent analysis upon that fight?
God, I sent some smart-assness right there. Well, I think Barnett is full of pillow fists. And Munoz is just fucking old and slow, and I don't give a fuck. Flip a quarter. Tell me who's on which side, and fucking just flip it, dude. I don't give a shit. I think Munoz probably wins because Barnett. I don't like Barnett at all. So that's.
I think Munoz wins because I don't like Barnett personally.
I'll tell you, he's a fucking prick. It's weird. Like Fred and I were looking ahead on the next few cards. And there is just a plethora of who gives a shit fights coming up. I mean, except for the main events and, of course, the double header that's coming up with DC and Rumble and Chris Weidman and Jesus Juice. There's most of the fights on here are bad. Like, a lot of them, especially with the Brazilian cards now, I consider myself a pretty hardcore fan. And when I have to do back history on every single person that I see to find a performance from them, and then actually go to some underground site to find the last guy that he fought, that's ridiculous in the UFC. Which is another reason, like I said, man, maybe it's time to cull the herd, and maybe that's what Reebok deal is doing. Because I think we could do with about 150 less fighters that I've never heard of in the UFC. Because if this is the best of the best, shouldn't it actually be that?
I would agree with that, yeah. I mean, look, and the more you talk about the Reebok deal being the thinning out the herd, the more I agree with it. It makes complete sense now. So it could be the strategy on that.
Yo,
I mean, we might see a whole boatload of Brazilians over in Bellator and World Series of Fighting before too long.
You think it's going to even out the competition between Bellator, WSOF, and UFC?
No.
No. Fred?
No.
I mean, depending on who goes, yeah, man, it could. Like, depending on, I think that shit is really kind of relative to what fighters actually do it. You know what I'm saying? If they start getting some big names to actually fucking jump ship and go with Bellator, I think you could fucking see that shit fall kind of quick. I mean, you had a lot of fucking marquee names like GSP and Anderson Silva, and all these guys are gone now, right? Like me and Aaron was talking about this the other day. A few divisions right now feel like they don't got true kings. I had made the joke that like RDA wasn't my champ, but it does feel like he's not a real champ just yet. Maybe it's just because he hasn't had the chance to defend the belt yet or whatever. But there's a few divisions that just feel like they don't got that fucking king necessarily yet, really. And with that kind of uncertainty, there's not a lot of stars. Fucking John Jones is fucking off the reservation. If a couple people fucking defect to Bellator, it could fucking change the tide kind of quickly.
I can see that. Justin, what do you think on that? You think if we lose any name? Okay, Fred was talking about only if we lose big names or if we lose any big names. You think that there's even a shot that some of the biggest stars in UFC will go to Bellator?
No, because I still think they're getting pretty hefty deals from Reebok, or they're getting something on the low. You know, like we were talking about keeping people here, even though they're not getting the sweet pot from Reebok. If they have a name, they'll probably keep them there somehow, some way. It's the UFC. They want to keep the most popular, exciting fighters. But I think there may be a couple people that go. Maybe some people out of their prime could go. But you know, I do like to see some of the talent coming up. I do like the Liam McGeary's and stuff like that in Bellator. I do like watching some of these up and coming fighters. But I mean, just to touch on the cards coming up, I think, you know, with their talent, I think they could do a lot better. I mean, you got freaking Carlos Condit versus Thiago Alves headlining a card in a few weeks. I mean, I just agree with Aaron that, I mean, if you're going to throw this many cards up, start putting together some better cards, you know? These fucking Brazilian cards are just completely retarded. I didn't even want to watch the last card, the Mark Hunt card, because, man, that was, I don't know, it was a little lackluster to me, you know? So, man, fucking put together some better shit.
And that's about as hardcore an opinion you're going to get from Justin because he's still in the UFC media pool. Because he wasn't going to say shit about Ronda, but fuck these Brazilian cards, they're retarded.
Yeah, man, I don't even watch The Ultimate Fighter, dude. It's just fucking stupid.
No, that's a pile of shit. Here's the thing is what's happening is that's my concern. They're watering down the UFC now. Like, I would say at this point, 50% of the UFC cards are terrible. Honestly. You know what I mean? They need to figure out something. I don't think it's more events either. I think it's less events.
But they've said before that those events aren't for us. You know what I mean? Like when they do these Brazilian cards, I don't think they give a fuck that we don't watch them or that we don't care. Because they put a bunch of Brazilian reality stars on these cards. The venue sells out. The actual like country that the event is in gives a fuck about the card. And I think that's kind of the idea with these. They put one good fight on there. They put a lot of fighters that locally they care about. And I don't think they give a fuck about us. As long as we tune in to Chris Weidman and Vitor Belfort, you know what I'm saying? Like them big cards in Vegas, then that's good. I don't think these other cards are for the North American audience. Like the Philippines card. As big of a card as that is, it starts at 10 in the morning. If we don't really watch, I don't think the UFC really gives a fuck. It's not for us.
I'd agree with that. Justin, what do you think on that? The fact that on Fred's point.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. He makes a good point there. I mean, it's not for us. They're going freaking country to country, you know, continent to continent. I mean, they could give a fuck about us, you know. If they really cared, why would they put a card on at 9 o'clock, the main event? That's not even including the prelim fights or the main card, you know. So if they really gave a shit about the United States, they'd probably put it on a little bit later. But, you know, they don't. They got a bigger audience, which Fred makes a very valid point there. Trying to build stars in different areas, you know. So I agree.
All right. We actually, you know what? Our friend Jeremiah actually is picking favor along with Fred here because everyone else is picking Frankie. So you got some on the side, dude.
Any analysis, or did he just fucking throw the favor out there?
He just threw the favor out there, just kind of like you did, just because everyone else is picking. You know what? That's what Fred fucking does. For example, most of us are picking Jose Aldo, and he's riding the Conor McGregor dick all the way to that fight.
No, I actually think Conor's got a chance to win that fight, though. All bullshit aside, if I had to bet one of my fucking children on it, I would bet that Frankie wins that fight. What the fuck?
I hope your kids are asleep. They didn't hear that shit.
I'm trying to make the fucking importance of the pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it really mattered, I would pick Frankie, but I think Conor can actually beat Jose Aldo. I know everybody's fucking got their panties in a ruffle here, but I think that's a fight he could actually win. He might get smashed, but he could win that fight, man.
All right. Aaron,
Damn, that pissed Aaron off, dog.
Aaron said, fuck it, I'm out.
He said, fuck that shit. Like, that he just fucking disappeared. Enough with the silly talk.
I agree with you.
All right. We got a couple tweets here. Andrew Reed saying fewer events. Of course, I get that. So he said earlier that he thinks the deal is going to get basically withdrawn. I don't know. Or the word is reneged, I guess. I haven't heard that in a while, so you got that one on me. But yeah, he thinks that the deal is going to get taken back. I'm not sure about what actually happened, but is Dr. Feelgood hitting you up?
No, I'm sure his fucking computer just bit the dust. I'm sure he's probably fucking sticking wires and cords back in it right now, trying to get it to stop smoking and fucking reload it back onto the interwebs.
All right, well, let's go ahead and end the show here because we're kind of done at this point. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up?
Actually, the Nil Magny fights Hung Yu Lim. Is that on the Philippines card? I think
That
I like
is
Hung
on the
Yu
Philippines
Lim,
card.
That's my dude. I like Hung Yu Lim, and no offense, but I don't like Nil Magny. He's like fucking like on a 6-fight win streak, right?
Yeah, he's whooping ass.
I couldn't care less. I feel so sorry, or like I hate to say that shit, but for some reason, man, that fucking dude, he's one of those guys that even when he gets like a finish, I'm just still like, you know, I'm just not impressed, man. And I think Hung Yu Lim's gonna bust his fucking ass and put the hype train to fucking bed.
Hey, Andrew Reed just tweeted out. He said, Andrew Reed says, I'm sure I just saw a chipmunk peek out of Fred's beard.
I know, I seen that. No, he didn't. He's fucking lying. You see? There's no chipmunk. Just a
Are you ever going to say that
fucking,
thing?
this is pure fucking awesomeness growing out of my face.
Okay. No. But are you ever going to clean that up? Like, trim it, make it look decent?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
You
might
look
give
like
it
a
a
fucking,
little trim.
you look like a goddamn lumberjack, man.
That's the fucking point. I'm a fucking beast. This is awesomeness.
You're in Dayton. Shut the fuck up.
What the fuck's that got to do with it? That's the reason I'm a fucking beast.
Every chance I get to shit on Dayton, I'm probably going to do it. You know that.
I know, you know it hurts my soul. That's why you do
it. Okay. Anyway.
There it is.
So, there we go.
Here I am. I hate fucking computers.
I hear that shit. I need anyone too. All right. If there's nothing else, is there anything else you guys want to bring up before we go?
Is that it? Filipino card?
That's it.
Yeah. I think that should about do it.
We'll make it a short night because I know everyone's got to go to bed and get stuff done. So, Justin, where can people find you on Twitter?
What's up?
Where can people find you on Twitter?
Jade Huffman _GLV. Dude, I don't even fucking remember my own shit, but I think that's it.
You're like never on there, man. You need to get back on the Twitter thing.
I know, dude. I'm slacking, man. Slacking.
All right, Fred. You're at Kirby _MMA and at Gem City Fighting.
Yes, sir. You got it.
Also at Nasty Ass Beard. Aaron at Stand and I think I just attacked your sensibilities right there. You gave me this look like motherfucker. You're gonna get it later. Anyway, Aaron Robbins over at Stand and Bang Radio on Twitter. Also standandbangmma.com. You can get all their episodes on there. But real quick, the episode just came out with Raquel Pennington. I listened to it. I thought it was a great interview. You guys also do a second segment on there that was unique. I haven't seen that very much on podcasts. So give people just a little bit of a peek into what the episode is about.
Oh yeah, we did the first segment was an interview, straight up interview with Rocky Pennington. In the second segment, we invited a couple of other podcasters from Steve Jeffrey from the Hammer MMA and Flying Brian from Flying MMA. and we did kind of what was supposed to be the best and worst of 2015 so far in the UFC. But as Steve pointed out, it's pretty much just the worst, the worst, and the worst. Is pointing out the Reebok deal, John Jones, and PEDs. So it was a pretty interesting roundtable. I think people would enjoy it. So check that out. Go over to iTunes or Stitcher or wherever. Stand and Bang MMA podcast. Check that out.
Yeah, definitely subscribe to that shit. 'Cause, look, I haven't listened to one episode that was even bad. Really, I think they were all really, really good. But I think this Rocky one especially, it's one that people should listen to. Even though she's out right now for a while until she gets into the fight and gets healed up and everything. But Fred's laughing. That means something good came up. Okay, all right.
It's things we can't discuss on air. This is over now. All
right, we gotta go. All right, fellas. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Have a great night.
Fred, Aaron, we'll see you guys later.
Later.